Well, of course, I have already concluded that I didn't think Dune Prophecy could save itself from its doldrums. It's sad because there was potential here. There was some interesting aspects to it. The performances are pretty good. And just the elements of it for the purposes of just soap opera, which is, you expect that. That's pretty much what it always was. And a lot of these entities or what have you are just that. But not a lot happened. The rebellion was exposed, and they were caught and scattered, and then it's down to Atreides, and then you get a reveal from I forget her name, but you reveal who she really is and all this sort of thing. And there's not a lot of episodes even with that, so I can't help but come back to this should have been a straight to max movie, I guess, rather than trying to make a series out of this, because there just wasn't a whole lot there to go. Because there's several things did happen. I mean, you do get backstory for this, and ultimately, in order to sell this, which I don't think they did, but had they done that, then some of this could be forgiven, because obviously it's not going to resolve itself. This is supposed to go into another season to resolve a lot of this. The setup for Valia, okay, and her sister, you got that pretty well done. They're only just now in this episode getting to the story of Desmond, and of course that was one of the bigger mysteries, because as it turns out, just watching actual Dune experts videos and reading articles about it, this is a character that the show made up. It has nothing to do with the actual lore of Dune. So I was like, damn it. And a lot of what he was doing, I thought, well, boy, this sort of thing happening all this many years before Paul Atreides and all that stuff, I'm like, I don't think that works. And even with that, in this episode, of course, it's, the show's running out of time, so you got to hurry up and start doing something. But here, there's clues, and they're about to reveal who Desmond is. And yet, on the one hand, it seemed to link it to the war against the machines and all that, the Butlerian, jihad against the machines that they did, which I only know a little more about that because, well, I delved into a Dune Timeline Explained video. And they make mention of some of the names and whatnot from that. So, in it, and of course, had I not done that, I wouldn't. What are they talking about? I guess, but I probably would have figured out what they're talking about. So I thought this could be a means by which to explain Desmond. Then they dump yet another element on who he is and his origins. And I was like, I guess the two could be connected. I'm saying all this dancing around it without spoiling it all. So it's interesting elements of this, but I just don't think there's enough here to capture an audience to justify another season, which is unfortunate. And I guess it's just another thing of it's like House of the Dragon. That first season was really good. The second season, well, the first half of it's pretty good, and especially the dragon dogfight and all that. And then they ran out of money. And then it's repetitive stuff to just try to limp across the finish line. And, okay, that's it. Join us again for next season. Well, what if it's more of this? So I suppose that had a lot to do with it. All those, and of course, like I said, some episodes are very slow and dark and all that, and others, especially when you're getting close to the end, starts to pick up, and so there's a bit more cool looking sets and all this sort of thing of what happens throughout this And but it's probably should have it cut it down, and it's hard to believe you couldn't even get 6 episodes. So yeah, you should have just done a movie. Just make it 2 hours, maybe a little more than that, but not much, and you're good. Or just not at all. I mean, and I think it's so obvious. Hear more and more about the Butlerian jihad. That's the story. That's the one you want to do. And it's so far removed, it's almost like, well, the Dune movie franchise can be its own thing. It's all about Paul Atreides and all that stuff. But the machine war, well, that's so far in the past. It's connected, of course. It gets them where they are. But nevertheless, it's its own story, and you can have that be almost a separate franchise unto itself. But something like that would cost a lot of money, and that's the only thing I can consider. Where here, it's this, hey, this could be our Game of Thrones in space and all that, but it's because you couldn't do it for House of the Dragon. You couldn't get your it's obvious that you ran out of money when you're repeating scenes like that. So I have to assume the same circumstances happened here. You know, they'll take a break to show you some spaceships flying around and all that, but it was just too much dull there for a show that had a pretty good cast, and I think you really could have pulled something out here, but really didn't. And you get little teases for something else, but I don't know that you're ever going to get there because you're already out of time. So it's disappointing. It's unfortunate because it feels a lot of times like this could have been great, but I don't think it's going to get there. I have no idea what numbers it's doing. And if it gets another season, well, okay. And maybe that can save it. But it's considering the state of affairs that Warner Brothers is in, it seems unlikely. And it's sad. There's plenty of shows that have, especially in the current era, over the past, I don't know, nearly 10 years, kept going. Why? I don't know. Did not deserve to be greenlit at all. And then there's other projects that should have been given a better chance and didn't. I don't know that this is one of those. It possibly could be. But you really gotta you gotta grab that audience pretty quick, and this one really didn't. I just only see the templates of potential that, unfortunately, I just can't say has been realized. So, you know, yeah, next episode might be just the best damn ever, but it will be too little, too late.